Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is a very quick video on showing you how you can contribute to I guess the creation of data. So I've got a request from several people to who wants to contribute to the data but unsure where exactly to start. So in this video I will show you exactly how you can start and what are the things you should think about before you can start contributing. Alright, so first of all, I'll be using Snowflake. It's actually the same as Studio, just that helps me query a bit faster. So imagine if I want to add this marketplace. This is a hyperspace NFT marketplace on Avalanche. So the first thing I'll do is I would go to Avalanche, and this one over here, Avalanche models. And I'll go to models, and under models you would see the different tables, right? So first I will look at goal, which is what you're seeing on Studio. Go to NFT, and then there's the NFT sales and NFT transfers. So NFT sales is what we want, and we want to familiarize ourselves with what are the columns that are in the NFT sales, because when we create the table for hyperspace, we want to ensure that we have all of the necessary columns. So a few things that stand out are seller address, buyer address, NFT address, the ERC1155 value or quantity if any, token ID, the price, which is the total price, fees, which includes the platform fee, or zero if any. Zero if there are no platform fees, and creator fees, which are the royalties. So those are actually the very important columns that all NFT tables should have, while the rest of the columns are things that we can join in later on, right? Things like timestamp, block number, platform name, right? Transaction fee. This comes from the transactions table, right? And yeah, all this can be added later on. So the key here is really knowing what columns are key, and those that I've mentioned earlier are what you should be looking for. Alright, so you would notice that it says from, and then this is just a notation which means it's from this silver table called silver, and then this is dot, so silver dot complete NFT sales. And this structure is actually the same across all EVMs. So you try to find this table called silver.complete NFT sales. So the way you do that is, again, go back to models and then go to silver, and then NFT, and then sales, and then silver. There you go, silver.complete NFT sales. Now what this silver complete model is it takes individual models, right? For example, the JPEG marketplace, and it takes all these individual models, JPEG, Salvo, right? And it unions them in this complete model. So you want to ensure all of your columns are in the platform that you want to curate have all these specific columns. All right, again, it's the same important columns that I've mentioned earlier, but you can try to match. You can try to rename your column such that it matches all the column names here. And yeah, the purpose of this complete model is to union everything together, and then we join in the prices. So in your curation, right, if you want to curate a marketplace, let's say hyperspace, you do not need to join in prices, because that is what we will do in the complete model. Instead, you will just have to prepare the raw table in this format, right? And so similarly, you can look into this particular table like silver.jpg sales over here and see how it's being built, right? A lot of the notations, let's say in this case, is referring to the silver decoded logs table, which you might not know what this means, but do not worry about using this table. Just use the fact decoded or the easy decoded logs table on the front end on Studio, and they actually have the same same sort of things. So you can use Studio to write out this model, and then we would sort of and then we can sort of put that into our ticketing system, and it gets picked up. When it gets picked up, it will be much easier for us to write it out as a DBT model. Okay, so a couple of things. So now I'll go into maybe before I move on. For Solana, it's again the same. You have to go through the Solana models repo, and then if you're adding a completely new table, something that is not present again, I would advise to look at other complete tables, let's say the NFT sales or the DEX trades, and then see what sort of columns are present, and try to have those same type of columns over there as well. Alright, so actually, how do you start curating? So if you're curating the model, you have to think of it from the perspective of you're creating a base table with all of the necessary information, and also something that's accurate. So one is this NFT marketplace, right? Hyperspace. And again, I'm just using Snowflake to just illustrate. First thing I will do on Snowflake is I want to see what events are out there. So I'm gonna start querying now if you look at all the NFT models, I'm pretty sure you'll see this. Again, you can change this to the decoder event logs table. It's the same thing. Oops. And it is created when February 2022. February 2022. Okay. Wow, what a nice date. Okay, so I want event name and the timestamp. And then I'm gonna do a qualify. Partition by event name. Event name. So this gives me all the possible event names. Oops. Oopsie. So this gives me all the possible event names. Oh, I should probably have decoded flat. So again, this gives me all the event names that is emitted by this contract, which appears to be the Hyperspace main marketplace contract. So I'm going to list down a couple of criteria for NFTs. One is you need to account for ERC 721s, right? So 721 and then 1155. And for both of these, you need to know token ID, NFT address, and then for 1155, what is the quantity, right? And a couple of things as well that I'm looking out for is, are there single NFT trades? Meaning, does the marketplace only support single NFT trades? Like you can only buy one NFT at a time. Or does it support buying multiple? Does it support buying multiple from different collections? Because sometimes marketplaces allow you to purchase or sweep the floor for only within the collection. And yeah, you should also think about does it support letting users buy from different collections in one single transaction? And then you should think about, can there be buys for both 721 and 1155 in the same transaction? And then you should also think about the fees, which are platform fees and royalties. Right, so these are some of the things that you should ensure your data I assure you, when you do your accuracy checks, you should make sure of all these items, right? Alright, so we have results coming from this, which is order failed, pre-sign cancelled. So I think the one that I want is this order failed. And this looks like, hyperspace actually looks like 0x. It might be a fork of 0x marketplace. Alright, so it tells me direction. It tells me the maker and taker, which based on the direction, it can be changed into buyer and seller. And it tells me the price, currency address, token ID. What it doesn't tell me is the fee, right? Exactly how much, what are the platform fees, are there any creator fees, right? So I'm going to look this up. Duplicate. Okay, looks like it's a test transaction, because given it's one of the first transactions. So what I'll do is now I'll look it on descending, so give me the latest instead. And what I would normally do is I would make sure whatever that is decoded in the ascending order has the same information as when you do it in the descending order. So ensure whatever is in ascending order is the same as in descending order. Right, if it's the same, which means most likely the implementation contract did not change. If it's not the same, then something changed, and you have to find out all the different instances where the implementation contract changed. Yeah, taking a quick look at this, it did not change, so I'm assuming they are using the same implementation contract, or if they even use an IC. So what I will do is I would then now, because I can see the events, I know that I cannot rely on events to get the platform and royalty fees. So now I have to rely on traces. So I go to this transaction hash and see what this looks like. Okay, so this looks like there is a, so this most likely means the buyer or the seller, right? You buy an NFT, you receive the NFT, and the seller, the NFT is transferred from the seller to the buyer. So this is the seller, he receives the total price, or sorry, the price after deducting the fees, and these are the fees, right? There is this address and this address. And so you gotta figure out like what is the address which goes to the, let me write another thing, which address belongs to the platform. And then, did the platform fee address changed? Can there be multiple royalty recipients? So all this you need to find out, right? So yeah, let's look at traces briefly. I like to use Falcon, blocksec, and then try to search for avalanche. There you go. Let's see, by feature. Oh, interesting. Okay, cool. It looks like there is no implementation contract. It just is the contract that the contract itself has the function. And you notice by seeing that it makes a call instead of a delegate call. And so now you have to decode all this in traces to be able to get the fee data. And I guess it's here, right? Fees is an array. You have your recipient and the amount. And this recipient is 87. 87 is this one. Okay, what about 975? Do you have 975? Okay, you do. So it looks like it's an array, right? The array has recipient amount and then recipient amount. So you have to pull this fees out, and then flatten it to get recipient amount and then recipient amount. Determine which recipient is the platform fees and then assign that as the platform fee. Right. Yeah, that's basically it. Not that simple, right? There's a lot of checks you need to do, all these checks basically. And we do not have decoded traces yet for Avalanche, so which means you need to go through traces in this raw format. Now I do have a video, and I think this contract has the API. Yeah. Okay, cool. It does have the API, which means we can manually decode it. And I do have a video, 2 videos on traces where I show you how you can actually use this to decode traces manually. Alright, so that's NFTs. For DEXs, let's go Avalanche again, models, Silver, DeFi, DEX, and let's go to let's say Trader Joe, right? So for DEXs, there are 2 tables you need to produce. One is called pools, which is just the list of pool information, right? The pools that are created from this particular DEX. And then swaps, which are just swaps of the pool. So how this works is it usually use the logs table, or in this case the fact event logs table, right? Find the relevant topics, join in on contract address where the contract address is the pool address, and you should be able to get all the information. So again, check the complete DEX swaps model. What are the columns that you need, right? Most likely is what is the token in, token out, and then the amount in, amount out, and then who sent it. Yeah, so for DEXs there are 2 tables, and then for NFTs there is 1 table. And yeah, I think that should be it. Yeah, and obviously there's a lot of other minor things like only reference a core table once, right? Like say if you're pulling from the fact equal logs table, you pull it once and then you keep on referencing the same CTE. And then yeah, same for traces, same for whatever, right? And yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah, I hope this was helpful in giving you a clearer picture of understanding how or what things that needs to be taken into consideration before you or when you actually go and curate a certain protocol or marketplace that has not yet been curated by us. That's it for now, and thanks for watching. Bye.